Hello everybody, I am getting ready today to go do some filming, and I have a couple of different things to do, but I have to start a certain way. What I've chosen is this red, I don't know, does it show the red and shininess? I guess it does. Um, Alternating black, and I'm pairing it with these red and black pants. And I think that will work. And then I'm putting over top of that this new piece that I got. Is really, I very much lucked into this. It's Taggerwear, Tagger. Um, but the company stopped making custom clothing. What they made was custom swimwear, dancewear, sportwear. And so this is sort of, and I bought 5 of them in different colors and sizes, but I like the polka dots. So I'm going to put that also with this today. I'm not being a devil like before, but my character is doing, I don't know, a bit of devilish, devious sort of behavior. So I thought the red might play well into that. And I think I might put this hat with it, right? I'm not sure. Maybe hair, maybe hat. I will have to use this hat later for the scene that comes afterwards, which, would take too long for me to explain here, and nobody would really be that interested. I don't think. I'm not sure anybody's interested in what I'm doing now. So I am going to start. I'll put this away before I get stuff on it. I'm going to start where I always do with my Garnier Skin Active BB cream, 5-in-1, whatever. I don't know all the 5 that it is. I just don't. But as I've explained in many of my videos, I really like the moisturizing property of this under my makeup because it's creamy, it's moist. It absorbs nicely into the skin. It imparts a little bit of evenness of color. So like once it starts working itself into the skin, like it looks like healthy, moist skin. Now you have to remember, my skin is pushing 60 years soon. So, well, a few years, but not a lot of years. A lot less years than I'd care to admit. But, age is just a number. I don't really care how old I am. I'd look amazing for 103. Like if I was 20, I'd go, there's something really wrong and haggard about you, but that's just not the way it works. So there we go. There's that base part down. And I'm going to, today, probably play up some weird things. So I'll probably play up the facial hair and the makeup. So that will be what I do today. So I'm going to start with my eyebrows. Now, I think it was was it the Roxy palette? No, it wasn't. It was the Defense palette. It must have been. Yes, that has the color that I like to use for my eyebrows when I don't want to have to put a lot of thought into it. So I'm digging a hole in it by doing this. Now I don't know where I want to put them, so I'm just going to kind of start there. I think maybe I'll just do them sort of straight out. This is just sort of to rough in a shape anyway. That might be a good thing. And the reason I personally do this first is if I don't like it, I can change this before I've done a whole lot of other things to my face. Now, other people may start doing other things and then put these on after. It's not effective for me that way. I just think it's better if I do it this way. But you have to play around. You can't just do what other people do because, well, you're your own person and you have your own way of doing things. And maybe the way that you hold a brush means that you have to do something else first because you don't want your hand going back over certain things you've already done. So apparently I'm making a much stronger brow than usual. There's no right or wrong to what I'm doing, so that's why I will play around when I'm even going to be on film, because it's fine. We're allowed to make, and I'm not even going to call them mistakes, because learning opportunities, like there's all kinds of things you can call them other than a mistake. Mistake just sounds so negative, and I don't think we might make choices that are less effective, and sometimes we make choices that are more effective. But, you know, my life does not begin or end with how makeup goes on my face. If I don't like it, I'll just freaking wash it off and do without, you know, like, I mean, it's not the end of the world in the overall scheme of things. So, let's see. I don't know why I didn't think to do that before. Just brush the brow out of the way and see how it's going. Wow, this brush gives me little grooves. Okay, so there's a brow of sorts in place. So I think I want to go under with do I want to use my contouring palette or the white in my Roxy palette? Now, I've heard some not as good things about the Revolution palettes. I've only have the one, the Roxy palette, whatever, by Revolution, and I really love it. Like, I think it has a little bit of everything I could ever want in a eyeshadow palette, you know, just for basics. Like, I have a lot of things to choose from, and certainly you don't have everything in one palette, but I find a lot of them are, you know, like, I don't know, you get like one or two nice colors, and then everything else is just very neutral, which is nice, you know, like if that's what you want, then that's what you want, and I think that's a good thing to get. But sometimes you want like a palette of really contrasting options. And that's usually what I prefer. And I think I'm actually going to go in with more of a packing brush and really just put that under there. I'll diffuse that later. Because this is about trying things that, you know, I haven't necessarily done on my eyes. I've done different elements of all of these things. And somehow, you know, because it's my face underneath, I always seem to turn out looking more or less the same. Other people say that they can barely recognize me sometimes, but I don't see that kind of difference. Now, it is time now to determine a base color. And that I can go in with my I Love the World palette by Xing Beauty that I was given by my friend Candy a while ago, and it just has beaucoup d'options. Like it just, and it's funny, even with this size palette, there are things that just aren't in here. There is no white or anything that light at all. There just isn't. Now there's some white hollow glitter that has a bunch of colors in it, and it's light. And there's a silver color in here that's bright. But there just isn't any really light color to put under like a brow. So that's what I'm saying. So no matter what you have, you may not have a complete anything. So stay basic if you're starting. That is my recommendation to you, is don't invest a lot of money until you know what you do like, and then that's where you put your money. So I still have to figure out a base color, and I think it's gonna be reds. And I don't know what color red. Are you a red? I'm gonna try that on the back of my hand. I don't know. Yeah, it's a red. It is a red. Do I want that on my... I have to wash my hand now. I don't know. I just don't know. Well, making a decision. That's what's going on here. And I'm just going to sort of tap it into place in there. That way, you know, if I feel like, oh, that's just going to be too much, I can sort of keep it minimum. Keep it to the minimum. But I haven't used this color yet, and I really am trying to use all of the colors that I have at my disposal. Suddenly I'm really focusing again, so I'm not saying as much as I was. I think I want a fluffy brush anyway. But that's the reason I put the white under there first, so that as I'm diffusing that up there, it blends in nicer and it's less of a line, although sometimes I end up taking my makeup way too far up my face. And I'm trying to keep a relatively light hand while I'm doing this, so that I don't just grind it into the grooves and things, but I'm still trying to get it distributed around and soften it up here. Maybe I'll take some of that extra off. Okay, So that is where I'm starting with that. So now I think that means I need to go in and put that same red under the eye. And then I will take my fluffy brush again and try not to poke myself in the eye. I think I did that the other day. I'm pretty sure when I took one of my fluffy brushes, one of the bristles from my brush jabbed myself in the eye, and that's what made it really tear up. Because I don't normally have that problem when I put things around my eyes, so I don't think it was the makeup. I do think it was the stupid wrinkles. So anyway, where was I? What was I doing? Am I moving on? I think I will take my white. And I think I will give it a little bit of a wipe with my finger. Which I shouldn't do because that's how I make my hands mucky, and then I put them on my face to do things. So that is where I'm starting with that. And now I got to go in with I've used up all of my good brushes for that kind of thing, so I hope I can clean enough of that off. But if not, it's got some pink, and that's okay because that's what's on here anyway. I'm just trying to soften so it's not so stark in the center. That's like this. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to wipe it away or grind it in or just to put like a little foundation of a brightness under there. I don't know why I'm trying to be so exact with this. I'm not an artist. I don't know what I'm trying to do that way, but I don't know if you can see the difference that makes, but it does make quite the difference. So that's what's going to go underneath whatever color I put out there. And I'm not sure what that's going to be because everything I'm doing is reds and blacks. So I am going to go in and deepen that afterwards. But I think I want, I really don't know. I'm not usually this unprepared for what I'm doing. So maybe I will check out and do this silver. It really is super shiny. when you see it like right up close. Like it's almost a mirror finish, and it's certainly not great for my texture skin. But because I go in with glitter, it works out really good. So I think I might actually put some of that in here and in here. And down here. Well, that sure is brightening. And then I think I will go with my fluffy brush again and if anybody notices the point where I should have like stopped, comment below. Serious comments. Like, I don't want people saying, oh, you should have stopped before you started. Well, that's your business. You know, you go and do you. But if somebody has like a serious thought of like, it really looked good until this, and then tell me the until this. And that way I will know what to change next time. I will have a much better idea. So, now, I think I will take this blackish color here. Just put that in there. It's starting to turn into something, I think. And that means I need to put the dark underneath my eye too. So do I want to do that? Yeah, maybe I should keep it the same that way. Just a little bit so I can smudge it. Although that is the brush that I normally smudge with, so let's keep going. My eyes are not being pushed apart now. And I think I want to go in with my bronzer. There's the bronzer. I think yesterday I was doing like concealer and bronzer and highlighter, and during the day it was a bit much, although I don't know what the lighting's going to be, so sometimes it shows more, sometimes it takes away a lot. So I'm learning a lot of things as I go. But that's the whole point of life, is we learn things as we go, and we have to be prepared to change our minds about things, especially stuff that has nothing to do with us. Right? The fact that I do this has no bearing on anybody else's life unless they choose for it to. And I don't know why people would choose to have something that, like, I do not choose to have things that other people do affect my life unless I don't have an option. Because it just seems like such a waste of energy. I wish the best things for everybody in the world, regardless of, do you have different opinions on things than I do? I don't care. I just wish you well. But if you wish me harm, then we are at cross purposes, and I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, that just helps give a little bit of tonal quality to this by deepening the skin under the hair and putting a little product on the hair, but it's really about the getting it onto the skin underneath, and then that shows a little better. See, that just plays everything up just a little bit. So there's that. I am getting moist. So that's probably a good time if I'm getting moist anyway. I may be using way more than I need to do that, but for whatever reason, it just makes me feel like I'm more secure, but then I have to just not do anything until it's dry, which is nice because I can feel it when it dries. But if it stays wet, then everything gets tacky while I am moving my face around, so I have to make sure everything is dry first. I feel it almost dry. Yeah, that was a lot more than I normally put on. There. And it gives the skin a little fresher glow again, I find, as well. Let me stick that ring on. Yeah, I'm going to put that ring on. So, what am I at now? What stage am I at now? Let's see. Okay, so this is the brow. So make sure, oh, this is the dark one. So I'm just gonna, I think I made that a little stronger than I should have. See, I have a bunch of loose hair, so I'm trying to match that as best I can. If I push too hard, I go up where I don't want it to go up. And I am moist again. It's a very humid day today, so that makes things a bit different as well. I do think I want to go back over with some more red, though. I think I've lost a lot of my red. So I'm going to see what happens when I go back in with that, because normally once I move on to another color, that's it. So let's see. Should I take my packing brush? My packing brush is a much better brush, right? It already has the red on it, so let's go back in with that absolute same red. Yeah, that's better. Because I just needed the dark in there. I don't need it to be black, but it did need to have dark in it. And I'm just going in and just trying to pack that in. I'm not trying to smooth that down and around in any way.